Hello there, my name is Adam and today I'm going to be talking about my dad passing away.
Thank you, Adam, for joining us today. If you're comfortable, could you please tell us how this person passed away?
So basically what happened was that we went on a holiday to Egypt, and during our stay at Egypt my dad got into an accident. He fell over and fractured his entire hip and leg, and that led to a load of complications, and eventually he got a blood clot in his lungs, and that's what killed him.
I'm sorry to hear that. What comes to mind when he's mentioned?
So the first thing that comes to mind is how loving he was. He was a big-hearted guy and was always there to support me whenever I needed him, and he always showed me the best of care. I was his center of world, and he loved me with all of his heart, and without that it's quite empty now. Every night before he would go to bed, he would come into my room and he would always ask me to keep the noise down. And at first it was annoying, I will admit, but after some time it kind of became this thing where I would always expect him to come in to my room and tell me to keep the noise down, and that would just always remind me of that he's there and that he's thinking about me, and you know, that he still loves me.
Is there like a memory that you have of him that still resonates with you today?
There's this one memory that I can think about. When I was younger, we went to this place called Drayton Manor. It's a theme park, and I was quite young and I was scared of the big rides there. And there was this one time when it was just me and him in the theme park, and my brother and mum went back to the hotel, and we decided to go on a couple of more rides. One of them being this drop tower. We went on it because he was, you know, telling me to be brave. And then I went on it, and I remember coming off the ride and being so happy that I did it. And I just remember running up to him and giving him such a big hug. And it's a key memory that I have, and I'll never forget it.
Would you describe your dad as someone who was loving towards you?
Definitely. He showed me everything that I could ever want as a child. He would always, you know, give me a hug. He would always give me a kiss. And it was, you know, proper hugs. Like, I could feel the love behind every one of them.
You mentioned earlier that you had a mother and, well, you have a mother and a brother. How did they react to his death?
I mean, my mum and dad has been married for 20 years, so my mum was in pieces. It was incredibly hard for her. I've never seen my mum in such a state before, and seeing her at such a low state, it really hurts. And my brother was just as bad as well. Them two were close, they were close, and I've never seen my brother cry before, and seeing him cry like that, it hit a spot. It really did.
How has losing him changed the way you see certain situations or act upon certain circumstances?
I mean, after losing him, I kind of went into a depression. I shut off from the world. I didn't really speak much. I rarely smiled, and him not being there and, you know, having him by my side, I feel lost. He was the person that guided me through life, and now that I don't have him, it's kind of hard.
I can tell that your dad was someone that was really important in your life. Was there something that made him unique to you?
He was my role model. I looked up to him as not just a dad, but an icon. You know, he always, yeah, he was just there for me.
Is there a part of your dad that you feel lives through yourself or maybe your other family?
Yeah. There's this saying that he used to do. It's a key memory that I have of him. He always told me that for good things to happen, bad things have to happen too. And that's just a saying that's stuck with me for life. I've always said it to everyone who I've helped support, and I've always used it for myself, and that'll forever live on.
Who was your dad as a person beyond the role that they played in your life?
He was just a big ball of joy. He spread happiness wherever he went. He always, you know, he was a fun guy to be around. He would always make sure that you're comfortable. He would always, you know, try and make you happy in any way possible. He wasn't scared to talk as well. He would always strike up conversations whenever he can, and he would always throw in his little dad jokes. He was just a really joyful guy in total.
You shared some traits that he had. Do you think those traits live within you now?
Most definitely, yeah, they do. I always try to be him. You know, I always try to just be the best I can and, you know, live up to his expectations and keep on what he tried to do.
What do you hope people remember the most about him?
Just how joyful he is, how happy he was, and how strong. You know, even though he went through so much pain, he always kept a smile on his face and tried making sure that we were okay before he, you know, said things about him.
If you could see your dad today, is there anything that you would like to say to him?
That I love him, and I just wish I can hug him one last time, because sadly I wasn't able to see him before he went, and yeah.
You said earlier, I remember, you said that he was in Egypt when he passed. Have you been to Egypt since that incident, and do you see the country differently after that?
No, it wasn't their fault. What happened wasn't his fault, and it wasn't their fault either. So I don't blame them for what happened. I'm just not sure I'd ever go abroad now after that. It really hurt.
Is there anything you would like to say to someone that's watching that maybe is going through something similar right now or has gone through something similar?
It's gonna be okay. Although he might be gone physically, in your heart he will never leave, and just try and live on for them and don't throw everything away, because they wouldn't want that.